Red Blacks, Gord Miller and Dwayne Ford.
It's a sensational summer evening in the nation's capital. Friday Night Football has Montreal visiting Ottawa on an absolutely perfect night.
Well, Gord, these two teams last met back in week 2. And this man was the story, Duron Carter. That night, the story for all the wrong reasons, but Montreal Alouettes certainly hope that he'll be the story tonight by posting his 4th 100-yard receiving game of the season. Of course, the other central figure in that incident, Ottawa head coach Rick Campbell, looking for win number 5 on the season, looking to collect his 2nd in a row.
Jim Pop's Montreal Alouettes have lost 5 of the last 6. They're ranked last in the Canadian Football League in points scored. Lost the opening meeting and have overall lost 4 in a row to their rivals. And there is Henry Burris making his 3rd consecutive start. Missed 4 games with a broken pinky. Was terrific 2 weeks ago against Edmonton. Ottawa coming off a bye last week with a record of 4-2-1. And Ottawa looks to continue the roll as Tristan Jackson returns to the lineup for Ottawa and is back deep to receive the kickoff from Montreal's Anthony Farah. Week 9 underway in the Canadian Football League, and here is Jackson from the 12-yard line. Out across the 30, Jackson still going. One man defeats the kicker, and Farah makes a shoestring tackle to bring Jackson down on the Montreal side of midfield of the 54-yard line. It's a return of 35 yards.
Well, great start for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Terrific field position, but I'll tell you right now, Milt Stiegel's banging his head on the desk in the studio because you never let yourself get tackled by the kicker.
So a good return to the lineup and a great return on the opening kickoffs. That's Henry Burris and the offense up in Montreal territory. On first down, Burris to throw and drops it off for Keaton LaFrance. And LaFrance across the 50 down to the 48-yard line for a gain of 6.
Keaton LaFrance takes over that starting running back position with the release of Nick Grigsby. That's the 2nd-year player, Canadian, out of the University of Manitoba. He's seen plenty of touches thus far this season. Obviously, very good receiving core. You see 4,000-yard receivers from a year ago.
Burris fires again. The pass is caught. It's Ernest Jackson who makes the grab for a first down to the 37-yard line for a gain of 10.
Ernest Jackson doesn't have quite the numbers the other members of that big 4 from a year ago, but he is often the catalyst for this group. Makes his share of big plays, certainly.
And we've got a challenge from Montreal's Jim Pop. Tonight's referee is Tom Valesi.
Montreal is challenging that there was an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
So questioning whether or not Jackson actually had possession.
Tough to tell right there, but regardless, very interesting. Got a closer look. Didn't catch it cleanly.
Jake Ireland is the official in the command center. And we saw the immediate reaction from Javon Johnson, but
yeah, Marco Briette as well, signaling that that ball had touched down. Not sure there will be any conclusive evidence because of the position of Ernest Jackson's body, though.
Here's Valesi with the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Completed pass.
So an unsuccessful challenge early on for the Alouettes. And it is first down, Ottawa at the Montreal 38.
And interesting in the whole replay review and challenge game that goes on, that side chess match to see Montreal use one of their challenges so early in the ballgame.
Cross now goes to LaFrance. Tries the right side, gets around the corner, fights his way down to the 31-yard line for a gain of 7.
We'll take a look at this veteran Montreal defense. group that has gone increasingly since about week 2 or 3 to that 3-4 look. So you'll see lots of Kai Hebert joining that linebacking core. He's been terrific with 25 tackles over the last 4 games for this team. On the back end, it's Marco Briette, Javon Johnson, and 3 rookies.
On second down for his toes, incomplete. Trying to find Greg Ellington, but the pass hops away. And it brings up third down and a field goal try for Ottawa. And this will be a 39-yard attempt for Chris Milo, who is 20 of 27 on the year. He's been excellent from outside the 50, 3 for 3, but has struggled somewhat inside that distance.
Yeah, has definitely hit some big clutch kicks, but has had his ups and downs this year. Right about 74% on the season.
T7!
That's a fake. The holder, O'Brien, is up and running, but he's dropped immediately on the tackle by Javon Johnson. So Danny O'Brien, the holder, tries the fake. It's unsuccessful. No points for Ottawa. Montreal with the football when we come back.
Back to Ottawa, where he's been a stalwart the last couple seasons, makes a big play. The key here is that 2 players block Bear Woods, leaving Johnson, who's lined up just outside of him, alone. Tight end and tackle both block the inside man, Woods. Johnson standing in the gap, free to make a tackle.
Kevin Dunn, the offense, take over for Montreal at the 35-yard line. Glenn throws, and there's Ron Carter with the catch, and Carter points his way out close to midfield. As the tackle is made by Antoine Pruneau, a gain of 18 yards for public enemy number 1 here at Ottawa.
Ron Carter with a couple of strides towards that Ottawa bench after making the catch. Expect him to get plenty of touches tonight. He's looking for a bounce-back game after his lowest output of the season. Last week in Edmonton, held to just 3 catches in that ball game.
First down for Montreal 54, and the end around for Giguère, and Samuel Giguère has his legs cut out by the corner, Nick Taylor, and that'll limit the gain to 4.
Well, Brandon Rutley continues to carry the load at running back for this Montreal team, with Terrell Sutton among the many injured in this Alouettes offense. Of course, Nick Lewis, key go-to guy. He leads this team in second down receptions. On the offensive line, rookie Philippe Gagnon, second overall pick, has started every game thus far in 2016.
Second down, pump fake by Glenn. The pass is caught by Nick Lewis, and Lewis gets away from Pruneau long enough to move the sticks. A gain of 7 and a Montreal first down.
Oh, right on cue. Number 8, Nick Lewis, a go-to guy when they're looking for that second down conversion. Just boxes out the defender Pruneau to make that catch.
Hasn't caught a touchdown pass, Nick Lewis, in 16 consecutive games back to last year. From the 44, Glenn throws. Pass is caught by Rutley. He's stacked up right away.
Take a look at this Ottawa starting D. Connor Williams is bumped out to that defensive end position with the return of Mo Hopkins. At tackle, he's been back the last couple of games. Damaso Munoz, of course, the anchor in the middle. We'll expect to see John Boyette play in dime situations. Abdul Kane makes his return after missing a game due to injury. He'll be important at that boundary halfback.
Second and long, Glenn over the top for Carter. Almost made the one-handed catch. Back on the coverage for Ottawa was Nick Taylor, step for step with Carter. Going to bring up third down for Montreal.
A nice adjustment to the football here by Duron Carter. You see a little push he got away with to gain some separation. Just unable to reel it in at the end.
So Anthony Farah comes on, the man who took over for Boris Beattie, who had struggled mightily as Montreal's field goal kicker. They're up 4 for 5 so far. His longest is 44. This is from 49. Adams is the holder. Low driving kick, and it is good. And the Alouettes have the first point of the game, a 3-0 lead. And we're back to Ottawa and Friday Night Football as Henry Burris goes back to work in just a moment. brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the CFL. Value added to those condos. We look into the stadium. And Henry Burris, the 41-year-old, was back to work for Ottawa. Had great field position on the opening drive. Now starts at the 35. The kick goes to LaFrance, who fights his way up to the 40-yard line. And Henry Burris in his last start had his best performance of the season, 26 of 39 for 341 yards.
Yeah, Henry Burris in his second game back from injury. Player of the game for that outing.
What gets interesting, Dwayne, is that Trevor Harris is scheduled to come off the 6-game injury list next week, and he was dynamite in relief of the injured Burris. Second down. Burris over the top, got a man. Catch is made by Khalil Payton, and Payton's got a first down to the 31-yard line. And the gain is 39 yards.
Well, Khalil Payton isn't going to see a lot of touches playing in this Ottawa offense, but he's making the most of the ones he's getting. 2 catches in his last outing for 53 yards. A big one here, 39-yard pickup.
Ottawa leads the CFL in big plays. That's runs over 20 yards, passes over 30. Now the fake to LaFrance, swinging up to Chris Williams, and Williams is wrapped up right away by Jonathan Mincy of the Alouettes. Gain of a couple. So the question becomes, I guess, Dwayne, next week, Harris is ready to come back.
Henry Burris is the Ottawa REDBLACKS starting quarterback.
It's ended right there. Over.
There is no controversy.
With a long leash. He was the CFL's most outstanding player last year. Added his team to the Grey Cup game. Early movement. And it was Javon Johnson who appeared to jump. With the penalty call first.
Offside. Montreal number 2. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Got Javon Johnson, so now it's second and short. 9 touchdown passes to 1 interception for Trevor Harris. And an 82% completion percentage.
Yeah, tremendous numbers. Obviously, Trevor Harris has been outstanding. Trevor Harris was brought here in a supporting role for the time being to be the quarterback of the future. But right now, barring a change in circumstance, Henry Burris is the starter.
Play fake, and Burris is buried by Winston Venable. And the loss is 8. And Venable gives us a baseball swing to salute his father Max, who once upon a time played for the Montreal Expos.
And Venable's going to come from off that edge. You see both he and Kai Hebert lined up right off the edge. Hebert in coverage, Venable 3 to go. Completely unblocked as he gets after Henry Burris.
So this will be a 39-yard attempt for Milo. His first attempt wound up being a fake that was stuffed by the Alouettes. Lots on it, and it's good. Ottawa answers Montreal's field goal with one of its own. It's a 3-3 tie, and Duron Carter and the Alouettes will go back to work on Friday Night Football here in the nation's capital on TSN. Let's go back to week 2, Dwayne. And the cause celeb after a great catch by Duron Carter that was completely overshadowed by what came next.
Yeah, a celebration that took him in the direction of the Ottawa bench. Rick Campbell had stepped out onto the sidelines. Obviously, collision between the two.
So Carter suspended 1 game by the league, but his appeal, and that appeal is still pending, so he plays here tonight. From the 35-yard line, Glenn under pressure, and he is dropped. Moten Hopkins got in. It's a loss of 8. Let's go to the sidelines and Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Gord, when you talked to Rick Campbell, he went ahead and told his team yesterday, listen, don't worry about Duron Carter, worry about yourselves. And it was interesting when Carter made his first reception, he looked over to Ottawa's bench. There wasn't anything said. But Carter told us yesterday, listen, I know Ottawa's going to be looking at me. I know a lot of people are talking about me. The best thing for me to do, get in the end zone, because I love shutting people up. But Henry Burris, who had a lot to say 2 weeks ago and is unapologetic about what he said, you know, for Carter's point of view, you don't want to be known for the bad things, going to arbitrators. You want to be known for your play. You don't want to be known for your mistakes. Gord?
Glenn completes that to Sam Jaguar. The gain is 8, but that'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Alouettes, who'll be forced to punt. And scoring has been a huge issue for the Montreal Alouettes, who are averaging fewer than 19 points a game. They've only crossed the 20-point barrier twice this season, Dwayne, both against Saskatchewan. And Farah just got that away to Tristan Jackson at his 27-yard line. Jackson had a great return on the opening kickoff, gets bottled up here at the 38-yard line. A 48-yard kick, a return of 10. 41-year-old Henry Burris, the rating most outstanding player, back with the ball in a moment.
Hey, it's time for us to start playing the top of the game that we know we can play. Let's play the style of ball that we know we can play. Offense, let's go out, let's dominate the clock. Put the ball in the end zone. Defense, 2 and outs. Special teams, win the field position battle. If it's a gray area, don't try to make the block. Don't do that. Don't penalize. Don't hurt the team. Hey, fellas, we fought too hard to put ourselves in this position right now. There's 8 other teams that wish they were in this position that we're in right now. Let's not give it up, because the great things that we do today are going to be the fruits that we eat at the end of the season. So let's bring it up, guys. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Some fiery words from Henry Burris, and the penalties are a good point, Dwayne. Ottawa, the most penalized team in the Canadian Football League in terms of number of penalties and total yards, and they've been costly.
Well, they have. For Ottawa, they've been a team that's been fortunate for the most part to be able to overcome that. You look on the other side of the battle, Montreal, also among the more penalized teams in the league, and has struggled.
France with a first down carry, and we should point out, Dwayne, that Ottawa tonight has 3 running backs dressed, all Canadians.
Yeah, making the decision to start Keenan LaFrance at running back. They released Nick Grigsby, who took over that spot after a string of injuries. William Powell in the preseason, Trayvon Van a couple of weeks in. But Keenan LaFrance has gotten his touches through the first few games of the season and has kind of earned his stripes and earned a bigger role.
Here comes the blitz. Burris on 2nd down, stands in and throws, almost picked off as Greg Henderson jumped in front of Ernest Jackson. That'll bring up 3rd down. Ottawa has a roster problem. Jamichael Dean, their normally starting guard, is questionable this week, is not dressed. So as a result, had to drop an import player and put a non-import back in.
Yeah, they did a little bit of juggling. You look back 2 games ago where they had started the rookie Jason Lauzon-Seguin in place of import Jake Silas at tackle.
Stephen Logan takes that punt from Zach Medeiros at his 15-yard line. It's a great block around the corner. And Logan up and running. Turns the punter around. Logan still going. And finally gets bottled up down to the 23-yard line. A huge block by Nicholas Boulay, sprung him for a 70-yard return after a 52-yard kick.
Montreal special teams coordinator Kavis Reed will tell you Nick Boulay is his absolute go-to guy on special teams. Oof. You see why right there as he gives Brendan Galanders, playing his first game of 2016, a rude welcome back.
Sets the Alouettes up in great field position at the Ottawa 23. Now reverse to Deron Carter, gets a block. Carter's got some trouble in the backfield, brought down the 29-yard line. As jumping up quickly to make the stop was Nick Taylor. The loss is 6 yards, and his Ottawa crowd lustily approves.
Looked like this was going to be all kinds of trouble. You'll see in the middle of this defense, Connor Williams, defensive end, is going to collide with his own guy, Antoine Pruneau, who's stacked right behind him. It takes 2 defenders out of the play. But fortunately, Taylor does a great job keeping contained position. You saw him shuffle to maintain that outside leverage and step up and make a play.
2nd and 16, 4-man rush. Glenn throws, and the pass is juggled and caught by B.J. Taylor is right there on the coverage. He indicated that he thought that Cunningham did not make the catch, but P.J. Cunningham, the second-year man out of Michigan State.
Yeah, you'll see the bobble here, but then it looks like he manages to recover and get his hands under it before he goes down to the turf. This will probably be our best angle. Looks like he landed elbows first rather than trapping the ball. Right. His upper body touchdown.
At the 10, Glenn looks out wide, throws it down to Lewis, and Nick Lewis touchdown. There it is, the first time in 17 games. And that moves him ahead of Don Narcisse on the all-time reception list into 6th spot, and he has his first touchdown grab of the year.
Just a simple flat route, quick hitter from Kevin Glenn to Nick Lewis. Lewis does a nice job knowing Pruneau's going to be on his horse, pursuing him out to that flat. Just allows the defender's momentum to carry him by as he ducks underneath and strolls into the end zone.
A 34-year-old Nick Lewis, who is never short of things to say. With the exclamation point in the end zone, and the Alouettes have taken the lead for the second time. Kara for the point after, another low kick, and squeezes that one through. And it's a 10-3 lead, so Nick Lewis hadn't scored since early last year in his first season with the Alouettes. But a productive year for him. He's got at least 3 catches, Dwayne, in every game so far this season.
Yeah, Nick Lewis has been an important guy for Kevin Glenn. He's that security blanket. We talked about him as the go-to guy. Gets a rub from those 2 vertical routes from Deron Carter and B.J. Cunningham to prevent Pruneau from getting out too quickly. He's got to fight through a little bit of traffic there. That allows Lewis to get the initial separation out in the flat.
And yeah, mark up the football as Nick Lewis moves up the all-time receptions list. This is straight catches, now in 6th place ahead of the great Don Narcisse. And next up, another former Calgary Stampeder, Alan Pitts.
Well, fitting that Nick Lewis would move up the charts with a touchdown catch. Guy who posted 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons to start his career.
Testament to consistency.
Here's Jackson on the kickoff return from the 10-yard line. 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. And Jackson gets bottled up there by J.C. Beaulieu. And Ottawa will take over at its own 33-yard line.
What's up?
Kevin Glenn and Nick Lewis have some history together in Calgary.
Plenty of history for Nick Lewis with Henry Burris as well.
So 2 weeks ago was a late interception for Ottawa that set up the winning field goal against Edmonton. Here comes the blitz again. Burris stands in and throws. Williams has to go off his shoulder pads, incomplete. Burris found his man, but Chris Williams couldn't squeeze it.
Well, they had the window open up perfectly because the halfback, Greg Henderson, is pursuing out in the flat to follow the fullback, Patrick Lavoie. That opened up a window inside. Burris had that throwing lane. Chris Williams just unable to squeeze that one.
He's on! He's on! Hurry, son!
4 receivers to the wide side. Burris delivers, incomplete for Ellingson. As back on the coverage for Montreal was Jonathan Mincy, and it brings up 3rd down for Ottawa, and a slow start for an offense that was set up with great field position on the opening drive, but hasn't done much since.
Montreal defense has to be happy with their start. Again, a number of youngsters playing on the back end against a very productive, very dangerous group of receivers here. Second consecutive week. Of course, playing last week against Edmonton's dynamic duo.
Medeiros, a high kick that bounced at the 45-yard line to Javon Johnson. Flag is down for no yards. And there'll be some improvement on the field position after a 37-yard punt by Zach Medeiros. So the battle for tonight, and 5-1 Calgary, 5-2 BC. They've split 2 meetings so far this year. This is their final meeting of the season.
A scheduling quirk. Usually you see a lot of divisional games down the stretch.
Attack on the no yards. First down, Alouettes at their 46-yard line. He goes up to 50 and look out. Ran hard into a teammate, Paul Hazel. And the gain of the play is 5.
We're seeing Brandon Rutley get the Lions' share of the carries, Lions' share of the touches really out of that backfield. Very good receiver as well. Terrell Sutton, one of 3 key Alouette offensive players who went down in the Week 2 meeting between these 2 teams as well.
Green fires again. The catch is made by the fullback J.C. Beaulieu for it's out of bounds at the Ottawa 53. And that'll be good enough to move the sticks for a Montreal first down.
Quick hitter here for emerging talent for this Montreal team, Beaulieu. 3rd-year fullback out of Sherbrooke.
Fresh set of downs as offensive coordinator, the legend, Anthony Calvillo looks on. Then throws to the wide side. Catch is made by Carter. And Carter lost some yards as Taylor stayed with him, losing his helmet. Mark the gain is about 8. It'll bring up 2nd and 2 and should be up to the final play of the opening quarter.
Deron Carter, the lone receiver, and they get him isolated out to the wide side. He's basically got half the field. Get open out there, plenty of open space, but Taylor does a nice job in that space in a one-on-one situation to wrap up and secure that tackle.
And Taylor slow to get to his feet.
Ottawa has battled all sorts of injury issues in its secondary.
So Jonathan Rose will come on in place of Taylor, who is going to slowly make his way off. We saw Javon Johnson have some words with Deron Carter at the end of that play. Who wins that war of words?
I don't think either one of them would ever concede defeat in that battle.
Just keep talking. So Rose in to play the wide side corner. He'll face Deron Carter, who's rubbing his hands together and mocking Rose. It's 2nd and short. Glenn throws over the middle of pass, incomplete and behind B.J. Cunningham. And that'll bring up 3rd down as we reach the end of the opening quarter. Montreal trying to get its season back on the rails in Ottawa. And leading by a touchdown after the opening 15 minutes on Friday Night Football on TSN. The numbers are not pretty for the home team. Just 2 first downs in the opening quarter. 54 total yards and a turnover. Nick Lewis becomes 6th all-time on the CFL list, 4 catches. Montreal Alouettes come in, Dwayne, having lost 5 of the last 6 games. Their team in turmoil. Jim Popp made some controversial comments to his team after the last game. What do you think of the opening quarter?
Well, a pretty good start, obviously, for Montreal. I think that's something they have to be happy with. But one of the big issues for this team is consistency. So, I mean, 1 quarter is not a game make. We obviously know that Ottawa is a team that's got a number of big play guys and is capable of turning things around at any moment.
The problem for the Alouettes has been the 4th quarter. They've been outscored 66-17 in the final quarter so far this year. But this defense will hold them in generally. And now a kicking situation as Anthony Farah comes on. And Tristan Jackson stands at his 10. Very little wind tonight. What there is the Farah's back. Punch 9-iron there, looking for the corner. And did he get it? Yes. They're going to mark that out at the 6-inch line.
A remarkable bounce.
That's a 46-yard punt. If it's 46 and a half, it's in the end zone.
Yeah, you see where this ball hits. and I was sure it was going into the end zone, but it takes that 90-degree turn. You know, you can't fault Tristan Jackson. As a coach, you're telling your return guy every time, let that one bounce into the end zone.
So we'll mark the ball at the 1, and that's where Ottawa will start. So a 109-yard field for Henry Burris in the offense. And LaFrance trying for some breathing room, gets up to the 5-yard line. He's brought down there by Winston Venable for a gain of 4.
For Jamie Elizondo, offensive coordinator, he'll need to get a little bit creative here. Again, regardless of whether you're able to go that full 109 yards, you definitely need to get a couple of first downs anytime you find yourself in this situation, just to try and swing the field a little bit.
Here comes the blitz. Burris flashed out, and he'll get to the 10, tripped up by Kyrie Zaber. He's very close to an Ottawa first down. Only Burris' second run of the year. And did he get there? It is very, very close. He needs the 11-yard line. They're marking it down right at the 10. So it's third and a long yard for Ottawa.
Yeah, given the field position, this is not gambling territory.
Ottawa slowly sends the punting unit on the field. There may have been a discussion about whether or not to go for it. This is 3 straight 2-and-outs for Ottawa. But Logan stands close to midfield.
Logan with already one big return in this ball game.
Good kick by Medeiros, chases Logan back to his 48-yard line. Logan gains midfield, has more room to run. Dives back and forth and finally brought down at the Ottawa 53. And now ball comes loose. Ottawa has it. Logan fighting for it, but got driven back at about the 45-yard line. And Ottawa says it has the ball back. A 52-yard punt. A return of 15. When did the ball come loose? Maybe a turnover, but it might have been caused by a penalty.
Yeah, trying to discern whether there was a face mask. John Boyette, number 31, is the guy who reaches in. It looks like right there he caught the left side of Steph Logan's face mask.
So the ruling on the field is turnover. Montreal could challenge that and say that the foul caused the turnover, but there is no challenge flag. The turnover stands, and it's Ottawa ball at the 47.
And bear in mind, Montreal used and lost a challenge on the Ottawa's first possession of the game.
Burris throws it up to LaFrance. Bear Woods drags him down at the 52-yard line. The saving grace for the Alouettes through all the offensive struggles, Dwayne, has been a terrific defense.
Yeah, very good group. Of course, to me, the identity of this defense lies in its linebackers, and they've put an even bigger emphasis on these guys going more and more towards that 34 look, playing the 4 linebackers. They released, in fact, defensive tackle Vaughn Martin this week. Kai Hebert playing more and more snaps as the extra back.
On 2nd and 5, Burris looking over the top for Williams, and Chris Williams has it. Up and running, touchdown Ottawa. A 58-yard pass and run score for Chris Williams, the CFL leader with 8 touchdown catches.
8 touchdown catches, 8th catch of 30-plus yards on the season for Chris Williams as well. That'll move him ahead of Duron Carter for number 1 in the league in that category. And we had just said it, Gord, to start this second quarter. Ottawa is a team capable of making big plays that can change the momentum in the blink of an eye. And right there, Burris to Williams, they get it done.
Chris Williams leads the Canadian Football League in yards after the catch. Tack on some more there. And the point after is missed. So it remains a Montreal lead, 10-9, but just like that, the turnover, Henry Burris finds Chris Williams. Another big play for Ottawa, down by 1. Chris Williams staying warm. There's a lot of special teams work for Ottawa as well, and hauls in a huge touchdown pass here for his 8th receiving touchdown of the year.
Yeah, great route versus man coverage for Chris Williams, a speed guy. Terrific throw from Henry Burris to hit him in stride. Nice touch on that ball.
Williams had a great start to the year. 6 touchdown catches in the first 3 games. He had 1 in 4 since, but starts heating up again against Montreal. Here's Logan, who's been in the middle of the story in the opening half. Inside his 10, Logan puts his shoulder down and across the 30-yard line. And the tackle made by John Boyette after a return of 25.
Well, and you see Chris Williams lines up right here. He's just going to work across the field against man coverage. But one of the things you'll notice is that the free safety, Marco Briette, can't really shade towards where Williams is going. He can't get over the top because there are still 3 routes out on this wide side of the field. So he can't go barreling over to the short side. He's not there to help out over the top when the defender Mincy gets beaten. You see the reaction of defensive coordinator Noah Thorpe after giving up that big score.
Here's Rutley on the first down carry. Up to the 36-yard line. Moten Hopkins makes the stop after a gain of 5. This Ottawa defense has been terrific lately. Only 10 first half points allowed total in the last 2 games.
One of the contrasts between these 2 teams for me, Gord, I talked about Williams and Carter both coming into this game with 7 catches of 30-plus yards. The thing about Ottawa is they've got multiple guys that can do that, whereas for Montreal, Duron Carter's the only guy.
And there's a catch by Carter, wrapped up right away by Mitchell White. He'll be short of a Montreal first down, a gain of 2.
Well, former teammates here, Mitchell White, having spent the last 2 years with the Montreal Alouettes, released at the end of training camp. But in regard to those big plays, Carter and Williams both have 7, but for Carter, it's 7 out of only 11 for the entire team. Pass receptions of 30-plus yards. In Williams' case, it's 7 on a team where they have 18 coming into this ball game. They're a team that can attack you deep in a lot of different ways. Montreal, even a couple of their 30-plus yarders have come from the running back, Brandon Rutley, so it's mostly yards after the catch rather than a big strike downfield.
Booming kick by Para drives Jackson back to his 24-yard line. Looks for the corner and won't get there, as Montreal's Daryl Townsend came down to make the stop, a 49-yard punt, a return of 6. This Monday, wake up to something new. Your morning, weekdays 6 to 9 on CTV. Mulrooney and company will be getting up early starting Monday morning. And here in Ottawa, it's a spectacular Friday night. Great stadium. The atmosphere in and around this stadium is really something to behold.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. A must-see location for any diehard CFL fan.
Sellout crowd here tonight. Urging the home team on as LaFrance gets the first down carry. And takes Bear Woods for a ride up to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 9 yards.
Good hard physical run there from Keenan LaFrance. Bear Woods is a guy not going to miss any tackles. LaFrance drags him for a couple extra yards here.
Again, this Ottawa offensive line without Jamichael Dean tonight. Changes the play, gets it off just in time. Wants to go deep again, brought down, the ball's loose, the flag is down. Alouettes have the ball, but what's the flag? So the ball recovered by Kyrie Bear. That'll be his second fumble recovery of the year. And the indication is the penalty is against Ottawa.
And keep an eye on Bear Woods coming off the edge. He's the guy who's going to get a hand on the
Holding.
ball.
Ottawa number 59. That penalty be declined.
So a turnover by Ottawa. Bear Woods and the Alouettes have a 1-point lead and now have a chance to add to it. The fourth-year man out of Troy State University forces that fumble by Henry Burris to give Montreal great field position.
Yeah, Bear Woods is coming off the edge. It's just man-on-man blocking. He's working against the tackle. Jake Silas does a terrific job ripping that inside arm through to get underneath. And awareness to go after the ball as Burris was carrying it down low, getting ready to throw.
Here comes the blitz on Glenn. They set up the screen pass. It's perfect. And diving across the 30-yard line with the catch is Dacey Beaulieu for a gain of 5.
We're seeing as this year goes on, Beaulieu gradually getting more and more touches within this Montreal offense. Guy who's been through his first couple of years primarily a blocker, a special teams guy. We're seeing the Owls use the fullback a little bit more offensively.
Second down, just inside the 30-yard line. Four-man rush. Glenn throws to the wide side. Lewis makes the catch. Backs up the sideline he goes. Nick Lewis did a 360 and got down to the 13-yard line. Does he beep when he backs up?
Nick Lewis lines up in this cluster. It's kind of a similar look to the touchdown that Nick Lewis scores. He gets those two verticals which create a rub, create some traffic getting in the way of Antoine Bruneau pursuing from the inside. Nick Lewis, he may not be quick Nick anymore, but he still finds his ways to pick up those yards after the catch.
He's sneaky quick. First down from the 12. Now, the time clock expires.
Time count violation. Montreal number 5. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
I understood why they call that against the quarterback.
When he's probably the one guy who most knows what's going on.
Yeah. First and 15 from the 17-yard line. Ottawa took advantage of the Montreal turnover earlier. Now the Owls trying to return the favor. Glenn stands in, looks in the corner, has Giguère, touchdown! Samuel Giguère, his first touchdown catch of the year, and the Owls extend their lead.
Sam Giguère is a guy who's always been known as an explosive athlete, and you really see it with the burst he makes to the football on this play. It looks like for a split second like it's going to be slightly overthrown, but he takes a couple of steps where he just accelerates and goes and gets this thing. For protection, Kevin Glenn lays it up. Giguère, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat first rounder, another Sherbrooke product, hauls it in.
And the point after is good from Farah. And it's what becomes an 8-point lead. And that missed point after by Ottawa could figure large later on. But Sam Giguère.
Bonjour Lily, bonjour Marine. On passe en bientôt.
Well, the big play that sets this up comes courtesy of Bear Woods with the strip. Kai Bear with the recovery. Right here you're going to see Sam Giguère lines up in the stack. He's going to fake a hitch screen here, which doesn't necessarily draw the defense forward, but it gets the defender, Taylor, a little bit flat-footed. He's waiting, looking into the backfield. Meanwhile, Sam Giguère is accelerating in behind him.
Taking a while for Giguère to get his feet under him in the Canadian Football League. Drafted by the Hamilton Ticats. Found his way to Montreal last season. And now Tristan Jackson with 6.5 to go in the first half. Balls at the 10. He does a 360. Back up he gets. And a flag comes down as Jackson's still running. Out to the 38-yard line. His helmet comes off. An adventurous return of 32 yards, and Jackson, who's just back from injury, struggles to get to his feet after his bonnet is knocked off, and there's a flag on the play that appears to be against Ottawa. We saw that happen to Nick Taylor earlier. That's a very uncomfortable feeling, I would assume, Dwayne.
Losing your lid?
Yeah, not meant to be taken off like that.
Yeah, usually you prefer to at least undo a couple of the straps.
Illegal block, Ottawa number 87. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's the first penalty assessed against Ottawa in the football game. A costly one will drive Ottawa back to the 9-yard line.
And this one goes bottom left corner of the screen against Mike Moore. Ottawa defensive end had the block in the back.
Heard Henry Burris saying his pregame talk, if it's in the gray area, don't block it. Don't hurt the team.
You see the impact here as they're backed up inside their own 10.
Burris swings it out. Pass is caught by Ottawa's Brendan Galanders, who mentioned back in the lineup, took a hellacious block on a big return.
And Nick Boulay got him on a punt return just to wake him up, welcome him back after he opened the season on the 6-game injured list. Former University of Ottawa star running back, spent last season with the Toronto Argonauts.
Missed the first 7 games of the year, so finally gets a chance to make his debut near his hometown of Orleans, Ontario. Second and short. Burris throws, pass is caught by Sinopoli, and Brad Sinopoli off and running. He's tripped up as he gets to the 30-yard line. Marc-Olivier Brouillette makes a stop after a gain of 13, another first down for Ottawa.
Brad Sinopoli is going to be the inside guy of this 4-man set to the wide field. Continues to do much of his damage after the catch.
Under 5 to go here in the opening half. Ottawa down by 8. Burris goes underneath. The pass is caught by Galanders again, and Galanders fights his way out to the 38-yard line. A gain of 7, 3 yards short of an Ottawa first down.
Galanders, as you mentioned, Gord, a local guy, had an outstanding performance at the CFL Combine a couple of years ago, but went back, finished his eligibility. The Ottawa GGs before signing with Toronto.
Coach Rick Campbell called him Gillanders in his pregame press conference. Galanders, if there's one person that can mispronounce my name, it's you. That's totally fine by me. Second and long, Burris throws. Sinopoli makes the catch. He needs the 41-yard line. Gets wrapped up by Jonathan Mincy. They're going to mark him just shy of the 41. This might be an Ottawa first down. And it is. Montreal does not like the spot. It was right in front of Jim Pop. And the Montreal head coach doesn't like it one bit. You can only challenge a third down spot. But now first down Ottawa from its own 40-yard line. 3.5 to go here in the first half. Early movement. Looked like Jason Lauzon-Séguin. The left guard moved.
Lauzon-Séguin, Ottawa's first-round pick.
Procedure, Ottawa number 58. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Went 7th overall in the Canadian Football League draft.
So we're seeing 2 of those Laval first-rounders, Lauzon-Séguin for Ottawa, Philippe Gagnon for Montreal.
They've also got, Ottawa has Alex Mateus at right guard, who was first overall in the CFL draft a couple of years ago.
And they've made the most out of the draft in terms of building that offensive line when you consider their center, John Gott, was acquired by trading the number 1 overall pick in the 2014 draft.
First down, Burris throws, threats the needle, the pass bounces up in the air, incomplete for Sinopoli, and Burris took a shot at the end of the play.
Yeah, he got absolutely planted by John Bowman. Just as he threw that football, Burris was completely exposed. Bowman lining up on the inside here, right on the hash marks.
And Sinopoli with a chance to make the catch, but it bounced away. Now 2nd and 15 Ottawa. Inside 3 to go in the first half. 4-man rush. Burris under pressure throws, and one hops it trying to find Williams. Third down now for Ottawa, and still not much doing offensively.
Montreal did a nice job bringing the pressure on that one. Burris taking another hit, this time from Aaron Lavarius.
Owls by 8 on Friday Night Football. Medeiros with the kick to Logan inside his 20-yard line. And Logan gets wrapped up right away as he's dropped by Ottawa's John Boyette. A 55-yard kick, a return of 8. Almost halftime. That's where Henry Burris made some news last week. Here's Matthew Chinetti.
Absolutely, Gordon. As we mentioned earlier, he is unapologetic about what he said at halftime and at the end of the game. Maybe the one person who understands what Henry was saying better than anybody else is Kevin Glenn. Now, when we talk about, or when it's said by the media, good Hank, bad Hank, there's also a parallel with good Kevin Glenn, bad Kevin Glenn. Their careers really have been paralleled in terms of what they've done with teams taken to the Grey Cup appearances. So Glenn was saying to us yesterday, listen, I understand the emotion. I understand where Henry's coming from in this point of his career because what he's done and what he's achieved. The only thing I don't understand is the colorful language. I wouldn't have said what he said, guys.
Or why he cares. So what was Kevin Glenn's reaction to Burris' comments?
Go shove it. No. I was waiting on that one. I wanted to say that so bad. Guy has had an awesome career. I mean, there wouldn't be anything that anybody can say for me to get upset with the type of career he's had. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what's important is he's been successful at doing what he's been doing for so long. Let people talk. Just let them talk. They got an opinion, just let them talk.
Glenn overthrows Nick Lewis, and Glenn knows firsthand the criticism that goes with being a quarterback. Last week, 2 late interceptions in that game against Edmonton, one for a touchdown that took Montreal out of it.
Yeah, sometimes that comes with the territory of the position. Get a lot of credit when things go well. You get a lot of blame when they don't, whether either is deserved or not.
Farah. Good kick away to Jackson at the 42-yard line. Ottawa looks for some field position here, and Jackson outside the initial hit, finds his way across midfield and down to the 51. So Burris and the offense come back on. And just what does motivate Henry Burris?
For me to play this game for 20 years, I had to play with passion that was deep, that ran deep. And, all athletes, we all use motivation to get us ready to go week in and week out. I mean, you have to have motivation because to come in and enjoy Groundhog Day for 7 months out of the year, for some can be pretty tough. It can be difficult. I love this game so much. I'm at an age now where I'm 41 years old, and I know my years are numbered now, and who knows when the end will occur. But the fact is that if I don't play the game the way that I'm used to playing it and the way that I played it forever, I'll be disappointed in myself.
They're on first down. Screen pass. Flags are down as LaFrance makes the catch and gets down to the 45-yard line. Winston Vettel makes the stop, a gain of 5. 166 yards in total offense for Ottawa entering this drive. 58 of them on one play to Chris Williams. And this is another penalty.
Holding
against Ottawa.
Ottawa number 58. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Lozon Seguin goes off, and the ball's back across midfield to the Ottawa 49.
Lozon Seguin making his second consecutive start, but at a different position. He started at right tackle 2 weeks ago. They elected to go with a Canadian at that spot to get another American receiver, Khalil Payton, in the lineup. This week, as you mentioned earlier, Gordon, with the injury to Jim Michael Dean, Lozon Seguin shifts over to guard. Jake Silas back in at tackle, and Keenan LaFrance, the Canadian, in at running back.
First and 20. Burris underneath for Williams, through his hands and incomplete. We've seen that 2 or 3 times tonight for Ottawa. Balls that should have been caught weren't.
Yeah, you think back a couple of years ago when the drops were such a big issue for Ottawa, when they had a young, inexperienced group of receivers. Something that hadn't really become a problem when they reworked the receiving core last year, but let a couple get away tonight for sure.
20. Here's LaFrance again. Venable gets an arm on him, and LaFrance with a big collision down to the 50-yard line. Still well short of a Montreal first down. And a discussion on the Montreal sideline, but this would be a very long field goal attempt into a slight breeze.
Yeah, playing for the field position here. Try and pin the Owls deep and let your defense hold them to close out this half.
So Logan comes on late to return the kick from Zach Medeiros. Logan from the 10. And there's a flag on the play at the line of scrimmage with 1:28 to go. And coming up at halftime, the GMC Precision Playbook, Milt Stegall on separation out of a break, which was Dwayne Ford's stock and trade when he played in the Canadian Football League. You'd love to separate from those defenders.
Absolutely. Nobody could separate on a flat route the way that I can.
Can you separate the
illegally downfield on a kick? Ottawa number 33. That penalty is declined. First down.
All right, so Montreal takes over at its 32-yard line. 1:28 to go here in the first half. Maybe best if Bill explains that. Ow! The referee, Tom Valesi, left his mic on and blew the whistle. The entire crowd put their hands over their ears. That hurt. Play fake on first down. Glenn throws. And the pass is caught by Lewis. Out to the 39-yard line for a gain of 5.
A quick hitter combination there. Deron Carter work on the outside to pull that defense out. Opening up Nick Lewis underneath.
The running game for Montreal has been almost non-existent the last 6 weeks.
Changes in personnel, but then also you're not going to run the ball as much when you're playing from behind as much as the Alouettes have.
Second down, Glenn throws, Rutley the catch, and close to a first down as he was tripped up there by Ottawa's David Hines right at the first down marker, and he will move the sticks with under a minute to go here in the first half. So a couple of quick first downs here for Montreal, put them back in field goal position.
Keep an eye on Brandon Rutley. Quick release through the line.
Now looking over the top, he's got a man wide open. It's Deron Carter. Up and running, Carter to the end zone. Touchdown, just like that. And now what'll he do? A 67-yard score. And Deron Carter, the man they came to hate, silences this Ottawa crowd.
Well, there's some
there's
discussion
a flag
back
down
at the line.
at the 43-yard line.
Illegal contact, Ottawa. That penalty will be declined. Touchdown.
We'll see how many teammates make sure Deron Carter doesn't take the scenic route to the Montreal bench, which, by the way, is the one closest to where he just scored.
Rick Campbell has the challenge flag in his hand. He spoke to Abdul Kaneh, and he's going to challenge contact down the field. So he consulted with Kaneh, number 14 for Ottawa.
So the hand of Deron
Ottawa
Carter.
is challenging that there was offensive pass interference on Montreal number 89. We'll review the play.
Left hand of Deron Carter came up.
Boy, if this gets called back, this place is going to go off. So again, outside 5 yards, contact is not permitted either way. Valesi hearing from the command center and former referee Jake Ireland.
Watching that slot to the top of the field. Collision within the first 5 yards.
Also hands to the face.
And Carter, the number 2 receiver. Right on the numbers there you see collision, his hands come up to the face of Kaneh.
After review, there is no offensive pass interference. The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
If it was possible, Deron Carter is even less popular now than he was before.
Well, depends who you ask, because those last couple guys look pretty happy about it.
So a touchdown for Carter, and the Owls extend their lead. And now taunting this Ottawa crowd. And the point after is missed. So a miss either way on the point after.
That's a couple of kicks we've seen come out low.
Love you, Carissa.
67-yard touchdown for Deron Carter.
I love you, Ray.
What'd you think? Was that contact illegal?
Well, I don't know if it was offensive pass interference that I'd have been going after, but I might have been looking for a penalty for a face mask on that. Because to me, in terms of the collision, Deron Carter's getting off the collision, but you can see, again, to me, it's not so much about pass interference, but you can see where Abdul Kane gets pulled down because it looked like Carter caught his face mask there as he was trying to get his release.
So 4 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown for Deron Carter. And Montreal extends its lead to 14. But as we mentioned, the second half, and in particular the fourth quarter, has been the issue for Montreal. Jackson got away from the first man, gets brought down at the 27-yard line. 32 seconds remaining here in the first half. And this might be an even bigger lead for the Alouettes when you consider Stefan Logan fumbled a punt return that had the Alouettes deep in Ottawa territory. Alouettes come in at 2-5. Ottawa 4-2-1. That tie is going to stink up the standings all year long.
Well, you knew, Gord, that this game had the potential to be kind of a battle of the big play receivers. We've seen Chris Williams and Deron Carter, each with a long touchdown here in the first half.
4-man rush. Burris trying to find someone open. Dumps it off for Jackson, and Ernest Jackson out to the 33-yard line for a gain of 6.
Yeah, Burris was trying to get that ball downfield, looking to get some points on the board before the end of this first half. Just unable to find anything. He had to settle for that check down to Ernest Jackson.
Burris for Jackson again. Takes a huge shot from Bear Woods, and Jackson out to midfield, the 54-yard line, a gain of 21, 10 seconds to go here in the first half.
And this is what you've got to love about Ernest
Time
Jackson.
out. Ottawa.
He's kind of the guy in this receiving core that does the dirty work.
So time for a quick strike here, and perhaps a chance for 3.
You got to think that's what's running through Ottawa's mind. As I said, from their first play to start the possession, they're definitely looking to get points on the board here, trying to push the ball down the field. They weren't thinking at all, but just coming out here and running down the clock and going in safely. They're looking for some momentum.
Chris Milo has hit 2 55-yarders this year. Burris under pressure throws. He's got Sinopoli, and Sinopoli dives down to the 49-yard line with 4 seconds to go. This would be about a 55-yard attempt, maybe 56. The conversation continues, but right now the offense remains on the field for Ottawa.
I think the feeling is that the odds would be stacked against them from that length, that they might be just out of range.
So a 4-man rush, 6 receivers down the field. Burris heaves it up towards the end zone. A jump ball is caught. Touchdown, Ottawa. Ernest Jackson makes the grab. There's a flag down. In fact, there are 2 flags down in the end zone.
Well, there were Alouette defenders. You'll see in the replay, Bear Woods is just running back, face guarding with his back completely to the play and his hands up, just trying to shield a receiver. And this is part of what Ottawa's thinking is, it's a mentality in the league, right? Throw it up and try and draw a flag. You see the middle linebacker, Woods, right in front of Greg
Pass
Ellingson.
interference. Montreal number 48. That penalty is declined.
So an off Ellingson
Touchdown.
to Jackson, and Ernest Jackson has touchdown catches in 3 consecutive games, none bigger than that one, which comes right at the half. Wow. Who wants 3? We can get 7.
Yeah, big finish there for the Red Blacks.
And so now, the Alouette lead is down to 7 after the 48-yard touchdown throw on the Hail Mary from Henry Burris to Greg Ellingson into the hands of Ernest Jackson. Just the way they drew it up. What a first half here in Ottawa on a big night of doubleheader CFL action on TSN. Let's go down to Rod Smith and the panel.
At football, yeah!
Ottawa down by 7. Here's Henry Burris with Matthew Shinetti.
Henry, you'd want the lead, but that pass at the end of the half, how do you build off that?
Well, you know what? It just goes to show when we execute the way that we expect ourselves to execute, we can make good things happen. I mean, we've always said from day one that Montreal has a very good defense. But the thing is, right now we're putting ourselves in tough positions. I missed some throws. We had some drops. We've had some penalties, things that negate, the positive plays that we're making. So against a defense like this, we got to start to penetrate, be consistent, and continue to penetrate as far as trying to get into the scoring zone and put points on the board. But we're making it harder on ourselves. We got to stop those things.
Thanks, Henry.
Hey, thank you.
All right, so Rick Campbell and company will kick off here to start the second half. And we'll see if the Montreal Alouettes can preserve a second half and fourth quarter lead and climb back into the race in the East Division.
A lot of pressure on these Montreal Alouettes, somewhat desperate times for a fairly early stage in the season.
But off to a bad start for a 3rd consecutive year. Stephen Logan from his 8-yard line, a central figure in the first half. Logan hops across the 30, flag is down, and Logan pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line by Ottawa's Dan West.
Montreal is a team that over the last few years has struggled out of the gate, quite frankly. The post-Mark Trestman era.
They were famous for going the other way under Trestman. They'd get off to great starts and sometimes stumble a bit in the second half of the season. A conversation now about this penalty being against Ottawa.
Major foul, roughing, Ottawa number 31. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So John Boyette called for roughing, and the ball will go from the Montreal 44 to the Ottawa 51. And great field position again for Montreal in the opening moments of the half.
And John Boyette coming down in special teams coverage. Right off this right side. Tries to cut the wedge, which we're not allowed to do.
Another great drive start for the Alouettes, and Lewis makes the catch. Nick Lewis fights his way down to the 33-yard line. Another first down for the Alouettes. And a gain of 18 yards.
Kevin Glenn threads the needle there. That one came in fast on Nick Lewis, but Lewis adjusts well to that football. Not distracted by a leaping David Hines in front of him.
Five catches for Lewis. Takes a breather on the sidelines. First down Montreal from the Ottawa 33. Glenn under pressure, throws incomplete. Trying to find Corbin Laux. Laux made what might have been a game-saving play last week against Edmonton. Punched the ball out of J.C. Sherritt's hand after Sherritt intercepted the football. Montreal got the ball back, but then Glenn was intercepted for a touchdown moments later.
Yeah, Dion Lacey with the pick. Return for 6 to ice that ball game for the Esks.
the blitz. Glenn flush out of the pocket and down he goes hard. As he is sacked by Damaso Munoz. And the loss on the play is 13 yards, and now Montreal may be out of field goal range.
Well, one of the keys to this play, you'll see Munoz come late, but one of the keys is the contain rush taken by Mike Moore, because as Kevin Glenn tries to peel out of there and reverse spin, quickly finds he's got nowhere to go. With Munoz in pursuit one way, Moore containing him the other way.
And sure enough, that sack takes Montreal out of field goal range.
Costly loss of yardage.
Timeout, Montreal.
So now, Montreal
Timeout,
called.
Ottawa.
Okay, Ottawa calls the timeout. Ottawa now out of timeouts after using one late in the first half.
See how that plays out in what has been a close game so far.
It figures into the challenge situation because Ottawa has not yet challenged the play, but if it does, then it can't challenge again. You're basically down to one challenge in the second half now. Just got that away. Here's Jackson from his 10-yard line. Here's to Jackson. Gets loose across the 20, looking for a block, and going for a ride is Montreal's Nick Shorthill. A 36-yard punt, but a return of 22. Damaso Munoz turns in the big sack to take the Alouettes out of field goal range. What a play to end the first half and change the complexion of this football game.
A terrific throw from Henry Burris. Matt Dunnigan talked about that arm strength.
And Bear Woods, with the face mask in the end, it would have been pass interference in the end zone. First and goal, Ottawa from the 1.
Yeah, I mean, one way or another, it was a play that was likely going to work out for Ottawa.
We're being a salient in the booth, and I'm worried you're going to leave, Dwayne. Don't leave me alone here. Play fake, Burris throws underneath. And the pass is caught by Sinopoli out to the 45-yard line, and a first down for Ottawa.
Well, the Red Blacks are looking to build on the momentum of that big play to end the first half. That's the reason why they kept going. It's the reason why they didn't kick, why they didn't just kind of kneel it down or run the ball to run out the first half. They were looking to generate some momentum into the break. This is a continuation.
First down for the 45, the toss to LaFrance, and he's wrapped up right away by Gabriel Napton.
Yeah, huge play by Napton to get outside. We're trying to get him pinned and get around the corner. But he recognized what was coming, fought his way to the outside edge.
Here's the Bugs. Are you okay? They're not going to hurt you.
There's a reason why I don't camp.
What is that? Not enough food. You can't carry enough food in the woods.
No, I'm fine with the food.
It's the Bugs.
I like cooking with fire.
You're a rough and tumble fullback. You took on all the tough guys.
You know what? Most teams that practice on grass, big bottle of bug spray right outside the door of the dressing room.
And Burris gets sacked as he's brought down by Kyrese Hebert. Third sack of the game for the Alouettes, and a big loss for Ottawa. Will force a punt.
And we're seeing Kai Hebert, fourth linebacker, but often lining up essentially as a defensive end up on the line of scrimmage. John Bowman bumps down inside, which can create a couple of mismatches in terms of speed and quickness. Bowman on the inside, Hebert off the edge.
Logan stands back at his 25-yard line. Good kick by Medeiros, high and deep. Logan from the 30. Looking for the corner, and a block, and he beats the last man in the corner. Now Logan is off and running. Got around LeBlanc, flag comes down. Logan puts his shoulder down, thrown down to the 26-yard line. There's a flag at the 48-yard line. Another big play by Stephen Logan, but it might be coming back. We return to Ottawa in just a moment. Return negated. It winds up costing Montreal 37 yards.
And keep an eye on Cody Hoffman, Montreal receiver, out playing special teams. He'll appear right around the 50-yard line right there.
That's close, huh?
Caught the back shoulder of his guy. Yeah, I mean, as we talked about it during the break, remind me a little bit of when you see a hit from behind called in hockey, where the guy getting hit actually turns his back to the oncoming contact. And I don't think that it was a case where you had an Ottawa player intentionally drawing a flag, but he's turning to chase, but he saw the hit coming, and it's just that split second where he adjusts his angle, and it ends up being the back side of his shoulder rather than the side or front of his shoulder that gets contacted. Tough call there.
Now first down from the 34-yard line. And the carry goes to Brandon Rutley, who has not rushed for 50 yards in a game so far. These two teams basically abandoned the run in the first half. There were 34 total rushing yards between them in the first half. Montreal at 11, Ottawa 23.
Yeah, and Ottawa, we know, obviously, is definitely a pass-first team. Montreal historically has been. Might have thought, given the way their roster is shaken down, some injuries in the receiving corps, they might go to the ground a little bit more.
Glenn throws to Lewis, having a huge night, and Nick Lewis across midfield. Barrels his way down to the 47-yard line, finally brought down by Abdul Kadeh, and a gain of 23 yards.
And Nick Lewis is chewing up some yards after the catch here. Lines up again as the inside man in that trio.
It's a big circle.
A nice little change up there. Remember, we've seen Nick from that look a couple of times with the other two guys going vertical, Nick going to the flat. This time he fakes it, he's going to the flat and breaks it underneath. Nice play call.
And a throw right on the ground. The catch is made by Cunningham rather. BJ Cunningham, the catch, gets down to the 27-yard line. Another Montreal first down.
This is a nice job by BJ Cunningham, the inside receiver, to scoop this one right off his shoe tops without breaking stride.
The injured Ottawa player appears to be Zach Evans. Nick Lewis tonight, Dwayne, 6 catches, 82 yards and a touchdown, and moved to 6th place by himself on the CFL's all-time reception list, moving past Don Narcisse.
Yeah, big night and a career of big nights for Nick Lewis.
And Evans being attended to. 3 sacks on the year for Zach Evans, all in one game against Toronto. And Evans makes his way off slowly.
A very important guy in the middle of that Ottawa defensive line.
Product of Regina Junior football.
Picked up by Ottawa in the expansion draft.
Rick Campbell knew him well from his days in Saskatchewan. When Campbell was coaching in Calgary, he saw Evans a lot play for Saskatchewan.
A remarkably athletic guy for his size, Zach Evans.
First down, the marker to the Ottawa 28. Montreal up by a touchdown. Here comes the blitz. Quick, and the pressure, down he goes. Dropped again. This time by Connor Williams. The loss is 9. That's Williams' 2nd sack of the year.
Well, one of the stories for this Ottawa team all year has been the play of their young Canadians on the defensive line. Arnaud Gascon-Nadon was leading the team in sacks when he got hurt. We just talked about Zach Evans, and here's Connor Williams, another local product. Played his college ball at Utah State's, drafted by the REDBLACKS in 2013, the year before they came into the league.
2nd and 19. Here they come again. Glenn throws. The pass is caught by Corbin Laux. Laux off and running as a first down as he gets down to the 12-yard line. A 25-yard gain and a first down for the Alouettes on 2nd and 19.
Well, one of the things you had a bit of a sense had to happen for the Montreal Alouettes offense to get going was that other people had to make some plays other than Duron Carter. We saw last week they really struggled against Edmonton when Carter was largely taken out of the game. He was held to 3 catches for under 30 yards in that ball game. But here, we see not just Carter making big plays, we see Nick Lewis having a big night. BJ Cunningham having some catches. Corbin Laux and Sam Giguère as well.
And now the carry to Cunningham around the corner. Touchdown! A running touchdown at 12 yards for the Alouettes, with a chance now to extend their lead to 14. That's B.J. Cunningham's first carry of the year.
Well, we've seen them use Jaguar and Carter in the run game. This time Cunningham lines up in the backfield, takes that sweep. A couple of the big boys get out in front. Like Phil Blake had a nice block on the pull there.
A 6-play, 75-yard drive for the Alouettes. It takes just under 3 minutes. So the penalty on the kick return winds up not costing them. And now Farah making a 14-point lead. And it's good. B.J. Cunningham now has 3 touchdowns the last 4 games. This one along the ground. And the Alouettes extend their lead on Friday Night Football. In the first meeting of the year, Montreal lost slot back S.J. Green for the balance of the season, it would appear. B.J. Cunningham gets a chance. The 27-year-old from Columbus, Ohio, has put up 3 touchdowns the last 4 games.
Yeah, Michigan State product. He's a guy looking to pick up some of that slack. The banged up receiving core, S.J. Green and Kenny Stafford being down. Looking for Cunningham. The second-year man step up.
Jackson gets loose out to the 38-yard line. Brought down by Montreal's Chris Aki, a 29-yard return with 7 to go in the third quarter.
Now we'll look back at that touchdown. You know, I've always got to give my fullback some love. Nice cut block here by J.C. Beaulieu on the defensive end. That's going to allow Phil Blake to pull, get around the outside, and lead the way for B.J. Cunningham. Lines up in that backfield. Beaulieu gets the defensive end down. That gets him the edge. Blake's around the corner into the secondary on Abdul Kane, and touchdown.
That play could have been run 40 years ago. That's as old as the game itself, isn't it? Rolled down by the fullback, pulled by the guard, touchdown.
I think we used to call it 49 sweep in the old Calgary playbook.
Did you? Okay, good to know. And you knew your job perfectly.
That's it. Block somebody. Block somebody and get out of the way.
Gain of 6 in that play. It's 2nd and 4, and some urgency now for Ottawa.
It's a 2-score ball game, and they've relinquished that momentum that they had to close out the first half.
Burris fires a one-hopper for Williams, incomplete, and he gets some words from Ethan Davis on the corner for the Alouettes. Davis, one of 3 first-year players starting in the defensive backfield for the Alouettes.
And it was interesting to see the reaction of Javon Johnson, the veteran, on the back end when Ethan Davis got in Chris Williams' face. Javon Johnson just came up, pushed him out of the way, said, "Get out of here."
So when Javon Johnson's the voice of reason. Medeiros back to punt. High kick, Logan pushed inside the 15-yard line. And doesn't get much farther than that. A terrific special team stop by Antoine Pernot, a 52-yard punt and a return of 4. This team has lost 5 of its last 6, has shown some flashes. The question is, how close are they to getting it together?
How close are we? I wish I had that answer. You know, I feel like every week in practice we're doing a lot of good, and have a chance to do it every week, and we see spurts of it, but we just haven't done it consistently. You know, even when we have moved the ball, we haven't always scored touchdowns. We've had to settle for a field goal or even an attempted field goal, but it's been frustrating.
Frustration now for Ottawa as that terrific punt and no return was negated by a penalty for having a man illegally downfield, so Ottawa will have to kick it again. So 30 points tonight for an Ottawa team that only crossed, or a Montreal team rather, that only crossed the 20-point mark twice. So Medeiros to kick it again. This time Logan from the 30. Again gets wrapped up, but this time at the 35-yard line, so that was more than a 10-yard penalty. That was a penalty that cost Ottawa 20 yards in better field position by the Alouettes.
Yeah, and field position so critical in the Canadian Football League.
She could actually play a tune on that thing. That was possible.
It's a gift.
A rare gift.
Well, you heard Jim Pop talk about the need for consistency from this Montreal offense, and that's the thing, and a big part of it, playing 60 minutes. He talked about finishing drives and so on.
First down for the 35. Well. Here's Glenn, swings it up to Rutley. And Rutley pushed out of bounds there by Forrest Hightower of Ottawa. A gain of 7. Alouettes will take on Winnipeg at home next week. Ottawa will be home to BC, and later tonight we've got BC and Calgary in a terrific showdown in the West Division. Second and short. Glenn under pressure, and down he goes. And Zach Evans, who was shaken up earlier, comes right back in, drops Kevin Glenn, and forces Montreal to punt. The loss is 7.
Well, I talked about Zach Williams' athleticism, and you're going to get a pretty good look at it. Right here, the big fella's lined up on the inside. He's got a background in Ukrainian dance, by the way, to which he credits some of his athleticism, and I think that spin move might have come from that art form. You think? No?
If you say so, and he said, more importantly, if he says so, sure.
Well, he's very proud of that Ukrainian
dance. Yeah, he should be. What about high kicking then? Oh, yeah. Here's Jackson from the 30. Flag is down. Jackson looking for the corner. Now a block. He gets it. And Jackson out close to midfield. Finally brought down there by Montreal's Martin Bedard. A 44-yard punt and a return of 23. The Coors Light games are coming to TSN. Tune in to watch over 500 participants from across Canada compete in this year's games. Catch the action Thursday, September 1st at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific across
illegally downfield on a
network.
kick. Montreal number 97. That penalty be declined. First down.
So Laverius called for illegal downfield for Montreal. And so Ottawa in business here. Not far from where Henry Burris threw that pass for the touchdown at the end of the first half. That ball, by the way, traveled 70 yards in the air.
41 years old.
Yeah. Burris throws, and the pass is caught. Great diving catch there by Ernest Jackson inside the 40, a gain of 18 yards.
See Ernest Jackson. The quick slant here. Soft spot in behind those linebackers and goes down to get it.
Again with a quick catch. And a gain of 5. And Henry Burris, as much as anyone, appreciates the toughness of Ernest Jackson.
E-Jack is honestly the leader of our receiving corps. When it comes to physical play, there's no receiver more physical in our receiving corps than Ernest Jackson. I mean, he's a guy who sticks his neck in there. He makes all types of great plays for us. I mean, he plays the game with reckless abandon. And I mean, he cares less about his body. It's all about him getting his hands on that ball and making plays.
There they go again. Jackson the catch. Another first down.
Feed the beast.
Got 6 catches for over 120 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, Ernest Jackson's on a roll here. 3 in a row, all of them coming between the hash marks in traffic.
Native of Rochester, New York, who played his college football at the University of Buffalo. Now, Burris throws, and that pass almost intercepted by Javon Johnson, falls incomplete. Inside 2 minutes to go now in the third quarter, and Ottawa driving.
Well, 4 straight targets for Ernest Jackson.
And there's a flag on the play.
Illegal contact. Montreal number 11. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Chip Cox called for illegal contact, and that will move the sticks now just outside the 10-yard line to the 12. We mentioned that Montreal not far behind Ottawa in the penalty department. Ottawa, the most penalized team in the CFL. And right away there's illegal movement, or early movement rather, as Alan Michael Cash jumped.
You see Chip Cox starting just inside that hash.
Procedure. Ottawa number 55. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
This time Sir Vincent Rogers called for moving early. And Ottawa will give 5 of those yards back as the ball goes back to the 17.
I will say I'm not crazy about the call on Chip Cox. He's in a situation where that's actually a rub route coming at him. To me, that's the offensive player initiating the contact, and he's kind of protecting himself. He's trying to chase a receiver who's out in the flat. He's not looking to collide with the guy on the vertical.
Here comes the pressure on Montreal. Burris throws it up in the air. The pass is incomplete.
Well, we're going to call that play a small victory for Henry Burris to avoid the sack. He does a nice job with a little pump fake and step up to avoid the linebacker, Venable, who's coming off the edge. See the pump fake here to get him to hesitate, and then he steps up, which buys him at least enough time to throw it away instead of losing yards.
Now 2nd and 15 from the Montreal 17-yard line. Minute to go in the third quarter. Burris gets bumped and down he goes. Tracking him down from behind is Gabe Napton. Another huge loss on the play. This time 13 yards, and Ottawa will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Well, the initial pressure is going to come from Javon Johnson, who as a halfback has become a big part of the pressure package for Montreal this year. But then you're going to see Napton contain rush from the other side. Both do a nice job, again, not giving Burris an escape route around either edge. They're getting as deep as the quarterback, pinching him in.
Now from the 37-yard line, Milo puts it up and through, and Ottawa nibbles into the lead. Now down 11 with 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. So the Owls D, which at one point was facing first down from its own 10-yard line, fights back, turns in a big sack, and maintains a double-digit lead.
Yeah, keep it a 2-possession ball game.
For all the talk about how great Montreal was offensively in the glory years, and it was, that was a great defensive football team as well, and that defense has continued under Noel Thorpe and remains one of the CFL's stingiest.
Yeah, I think for a lot of years there was that, call it a symbiotic relationship between offense and defense, where the offense controlled the ball so much that the defense stayed fresh.
First down carry goes to Rutley up to the 45-yard line, close to a Montreal first down on the final play of the third quarter. So Montreal came in at 2-5, stumbling through the first part of the season, but an 11-point lead. Now the problem, the fourth quarter, easily the Owls' worst of the season. Can Ottawa come back? Friday Night Football returns with the fourth quarter in a moment. The numbers through 3 quarters of play, and again, fewer than 100 rushing yards between the two teams, but time of possession, the Alouettes are actually in the game against Ottawa. That's been one of the big problems for Montreal in recent weeks, is poor time of possession. BJ Cunningham with a 12-yard run. It's a 30-19 lead for the Alouettes entering the fourth quarter, and that's been the issue for the Alouettes. Here's a huge part of their season and a big part of the game.
Yeah, no question. Montreal needs to find a way to close, and they have had trouble with this. They've had trouble containing other teams in the fourth as well. So, I mean, this isn't just an offensive problem. This isn't just a defensive problem. It's a little bit of an inexperienced problem is how I would describe it.
They've been outscored 66-17 in the fourth quarter this season. So Vernon Adams comes in on 2nd and short for the Alouettes. It's 2nd and about a yard. Flags are down. Adams goes ahead. He's got the first down yardage. The question is, what's the penalty? And more helmets flying off. This time, Torre Tanzio has his taken off. That's about the third time we've seen that tonight.
Things get a little down and dirty in those scrums.
Offside, Ottawa number 21. 5-yard penalty, first down.
They'll take the 5, the first down, the drive will continue. One problem for the Alouettes, you talked about the fact they've been behind so much, they haven't run the football, but they've not run the ball effectively. They don't have a rush of over 20 yards in their last 6 games. Now a fumble as Adams stayed in, and down he goes. The loss is huge. Connor Williams brings him down. So Adams, scarcely used, loses 15 yards of the play.
And if you're Montreal, you'd like to find ways to get your young quarterbacks some reps in game here. Jim Popp electing to let Adams stay in after a short yardage plunge.
He'd only attempted 9 passes entering this game. That was against Hamilton about a month ago. But now Glenn's back in. Welcome back. It's 2nd and 25. 4-man rush. Glenn under pressure gets away, throws it underneath. Cunningham has it. It's a lot of the yards back. Huge block by Nick Lewis. And Cunningham gets out to the 49-yard line. That's enough for a first down. What a block by Lewis for a gain of 26 yards.
Well, it starts with great poise by Kevin Glenn. Looks like he's in trouble with the pressure. Comes on the twist from Zach Evans. He dodges that to find Cunningham. And then watch for the big block here from Nick Lewis on the sidelines. Ooh. He decleats Antoine Pruneau.
The 2nd and 25 playbook is not very thick, but Montreal pulls one out there, and now Rutley on the first down carry, bounces off Munoz, and Kane drags him down after a gain of about 5 yards.
And that's the 3rd time, Gordon, this ball game that Montreal has successfully converted on 2nd and 18 or longer. Big plays, making plays when facing adversity. Significant part of the Alouette success tonight.
Just to reset, Ottawa has no timeouts remaining. Land throws, here's Lewis. It's collared there by Kane, and the Montreal bench is hot that should be a horse collar tackle against Ottawa. It stands the gain of 16, however, and another Montreal first down.
Just a quick hitter working in the middle of the field.
Seven catches, 98 yards. Dwayne for Nick Lewis at a touchdown.
And I'll reiterate it. Huge part of Montreal's offensive success is they're getting contributions from a lot of different people.
First down from the Ottawa 27. Back to the ground to Rutley. Finds a seam. He's off and running. Down to the 20 he goes for a gain of 7.
There's the guy calling the shots. Anthony Calvillo, longtime CFL quarterback.
Looking very professorial these days. If there's anyone who knows how to take apart a CFL defense, it's that man. 9th play of the drive coming up. Glenn shovels for Rutley, and Rutley should have a first down as he fights his way down to the 16-yard line.
We'll see if Brandon Rutley and the ground game become a bigger part of the Alouette strategy here. We look to close things out in the 4th quarter and try and wear down this Ottawa defense.
First down, Alouettes from the Ottawa 16-yard line. Ottawa needs a stop from the defense here. Glenn, under pressure, steps away, has room to run, but slides down to the 16-yard line. All the gain of 6 as John Boyette makes the stop. And not a great spot for the Alouettes. They're going to mark it at the 15-yard line. So just a gain of 1.5 yards.
With an extra defensive back on the field for Ottawa. John Boyette coming on and as an extra coverage guy. They're not able to find anything deep.
Big second down play here. Four-man rush. Glenn throws to Rutley. Room to run. Rutley up the sideline. Dives. Touchdown. Brandon Rutley, a 15-yard score, and the Alouettes convert on a long drive and extend their lead early in the fourth quarter.
Brandon Rutley, terrific receiver out of the backfield, and here just has a nose for that end zone. Diving, stretching out to cross the goal line.
And now the point after attempt from Farah. Both teams have missed a point after tonight. This to make it an 18-point lead. And he does. A huge drive by the Alouettes. And they're 4 for 4 in the red zone against the CFL's #1 red zone defense. Not been a big part of the attack, at least along the ground for the Alouettes tonight. But there's a touchdown catch of 15 yards on a second down play.
Yeah, and you'll see here the defensive end, Mike Moore, is going to drop into coverage, and ultimately he's going to be the guy going to the flat with Rutley, but he gets caught up on the receiver, Sam Giguère. Bump there, you can even call it a bit of a rub by Giguère. That delays Moore just enough to allow Rutley that extra step that ultimately gets him to the end zone.
And what a stretch for the touchdown. So now down 18. Tristan Jackson on the kickoff return. Gets a seam out across the 40. And a good return out to the 49-yard line. And that's where Ottawa will start after a 37-yard gain. There is a flag on the play. So Tristan Jackson back in the lineup for Ottawa. He's going to see some of this return go back, and that's a very costly penalty again for Ottawa. Not just the 10 yards, the loss of the return.
And we'll go back again, Gord, to the Henry Burris pregame speech that you referenced
Illegal
earlier.
block, Ottawa number 8. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's not 10 because they're going to scrimmage the ball at the 15-yard line. It's a 34-yard penalty.
Keep an
Might
eye
be at
right
the 9-yard line. It's a 40-yard penalty.
30-yard line.
So it's a call that costs Ottawa 40 yards of field position. First down for Burris under pressure from Cox, and down he goes. And Chip Cox fights his way into the offensive backfield and has his first sack of the year.
Yeah, Chip Cox not as involved in the blitz package as much as he was a few years ago. Shouldn't happen. You can see right there, the Owls are only rushing 5.
It's the third time in the game, Dwayne, that Ottawa has begun a drive inside its own 10-yard line.
And penalties have played a factor.
Trying to draw the Owls offside. Burris from the end zone fires, and the pass is caught by Williams. Good for a first down up to the 26-yard line. A gain of 23.
Chris Williams lined up as the one receiver into the boundary. Nice job climbing the ladder to get that one.
On first down, Burris pump fake, what's over the top now. Some hand fighting down the field. The pass is intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Mincy as he was batted there with Khalil Payton. And the interception by Mincy sets Montreal up in Ottawa territory at the 43-yard line. Montreal with the lead and the football when we come back. CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And Mostly you'd see the footprints on the full moon tonight. Where is the Sea of Tranquility anyway? Not here tonight, that's for sure. Jonathan Mincy with his first career CFL interception, a big one to give the Alouettes a first down at the Ottawa 44-yard line midway through the fourth quarter. And there's Rutley on the first down carry. Lots of contact up the sideline, Dwayne, but it was not made by Mincy.
No, it looked like Khalil Payton on the outside recognizes that this ball's a little bit overthrown. Mincy's matched up with him out there, and Payton's just trying to get to the football. If you'll see any contact out there, Payton kind of initiated it, trying to accelerate. But perfect position by Mincy.
Now Rutley is shaken up, so Steph Logan will come in at tailback for Montreal.
We thought we might see an increased role for Steph Logan offensively when Terrell Sutton went down. Sutton and Rutley both played a lot in that backfield. Montreal using a two running back system frequently. We thought Logan might step into that, but it has been predominantly Rutley carrying the load.
Right
like
on
that
the
right knee, yeah.
Just to finish the point we made earlier, Dwayne, about Montreal in the red zone tonight inside the 20-yard line. Entering this game, Ottawa had only allowed the opposition inside the 20 15 times and had only allowed 6 touchdowns, by far the best in the Canadian Football League. Tonight, Ottawa has allowed Montreal 4 times inside the 20, and the Alouettes have scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and give a lot of credit to that Montreal offense execution by Kevin Glenn and the rest of the group, and good play calling by Anthony Calvillo and offensive consultant Jacques Chapdelaine.
Former head coach at Bishop's University and longtime offensive coordinator in the CFL. Now Glenn throws it up for Lewis. And Lewis dives down to the 34-yard line, close to another Montreal first down. This has been a dramatic improvement by the Alouettes based on the last few weeks.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that. They had a pretty good outing against Saskatchewan, again, where you felt like it was one of those games where a lot of people chipped in. When you talked about, say, trying to pick a player of the game or talked about who played well, there were a number of people. Brandon Rutley had a big game. Deron Carter got them off to a terrific start in that one.
Lewis over 100 yards tonight. On first down, the give to Logan. And Logan spins his way down to the 30-yard line. And Kane makes the stop. But now Montreal is chewing time off the clock. And again, the Alouettes have been poor at time of possession this year. So all the things they did badly, they're doing well tonight.
Yeah, and especially going back to the issues in the fourth quarter, this is where they've kind of evened out the time of possession. After 3 quarters, they were down about 4 minutes to Ottawa in terms of time of possession, but Montreal has absolutely carried the play here in the fourth.
Only had the ball for 7 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Now throw up the sideline, and diving for it is Deron Carter. Touchdown! What a catch by Deron Carter. An exclamation point for the Alouettes. And Deron Carter with the touchdown catch to extend the Montreal lead. That's his second touchdown grab of the night.
Well, we talk all the time about the faith that Kevin Glenn has in Deron Carter in these tight coverage situations.
Oh, what a catch.
Yeah, I mean, with his combination of speed, height, reach, phenomenal catch radius for Deron Carter. Completely outstretched, hauling that one in.
And pretty good coverage.
I mean, there's nothing more Mitchell White can do short of a growth spurt.
So now the point after, and the Owls have 44. Their best offensive output of the season. And the Alouettes are making a statement in Ottawa. Catches 126 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns, adding insult to injury.
Yeah, Deron Carter lines up as the outside man. He's matched up one-on-one with his former teammate Mitchell White, and as soon as he's right there, as soon as they're even, Kevin Glenn knows that's where I'm going with the football. He puts it up, Carter goes and gets it. Major.
Jackson on the kick return. Brought down to the 30-yard line, and now a flag comes down late.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
Late penalty call.
Objectionable conduct. Ottawa number 81. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Patrick Lavoie got tangled up there with Nick Shorthill, so another penalty for Ottawa will cost field position back to the 21-yard line. And Bob Dice trying to calm his player down. Coming off the bye week, Ottawa has put Henry Burris on the bench and brought in Brock Jensen. So I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to anyway. Based on tonight, if Trevor Harris is healthy next week, you still start Henry Burris?
I do, yeah. Henry Burris is the starting quarterback. Now, if Trevor Harris is healthy next week, is there a chance that Trevor Harris would have been in this game earlier than Brock Jensen gets into this game? I think there's a reasonable chance of that in an effort to try and spark this offense.
Let's try Matthew Shinetti on the sidelines.
Yeah, guys, speaking to Trevor Harris before the game, he said he would play. He would have played this week if not for maybe some conditioning stuff. But as for next week and whether he'd start, he said, listen, when I came here, I understood that I was the backup. But during the game, Harris is going through kind of the plays and debriefing upstairs at the booth. And he looked at me and said, this is the last time I'm going to be doing this. Guys.
He won't be in street close next week. Now the ball is dropped by Jensen. Gets loose around the corner, takes a big stick there from Winston Venable. And the gain is 9. And this has not been really Henry Burris' fault tonight. Really, the issue here tonight is that Ottawa's defense, which has been so good all year, got taken apart by Montreal.
Yeah, Ottawa's defense hasn't gotten a lot of stops. Ottawa's special teams have absolutely killed them.
Burris
in terms of field position.
Burris is 20 of 29 tonight, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And that was almost picked by Woods. But the catch is made by Sinopoli.
Yeah, I honestly don't really see this as a case of Henry Burris getting pulled as much as an opportunity to protect Henry Burris, for one thing, in a game that they're not going to come back to win, and a chance to get Brock Jensen some more snaps. He played extensively against Saskatchewan earlier in the year when Trevor Harris got hurt. You want to get him experience.
And Jensen gets dropped by Napton. That's his second sack of the game, 6th on the night for Montreal. Still to come tonight, Calgary and BC in a first-place showdown. Tomorrow, Dwayne will be in Toronto with the Argos and the Eskimos, as those two teams find themselves in the middle of the standings. Edmonton 3 and 4, Toronto 4 and 3. Inside, 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Jensen fires, pass is caught by Williams. He'll be short of an Ottawa first down. Ottawa looked to strengthen and hold in the East Division. Instead, Montreal's climbing back into it. We've hit the 3-minute warning in the nation's capital.
He plays the last time Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stamps took on Jonathan Jennings and the BC Lions. It went to overtime 3 weeks ago in Calgary. Their third meeting of the season coming up. But first, we got Montreal trying to finish things off back to Gordon Dwayne.
Thanks, Rod. Zach Madero's back to punt. Flag comes down. And Steph Logan picks up at the 20-yard line. And it was 3rd and 12. And Logan just puts out of bounds on the 14-yard line. Looks like they must be roughing against the kicker. If that's the case, Ottawa will maintain possession. And we've got an injured Ottawa player.
Yeah, big concern for Ottawa. That's Antoine Pruneau, their starting strong side linebacker.
His helmet came off as well, so there's the
major foul, roughing the kicker. Montreal number 22. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Anthony Cody got the call. The play comes back, but Antoine Pruneau got drilled at the end of it and is just now back to his feet. Keep in mind that the Canadian Football League has an injury spotter in the booth who would watch a player and determine if he should come off or not. And Pruneau is indeed coming off for Ottawa.
Hey, Cody.
Pruneau, of course, would come off because the Ottawa offense remains on the field. A little rusty. Right? First game of the year for me.
Hey, it's not hockey, bro.
A little rusty. I'm used to changing on the fly. Well, it began as a boisterous night here. Now the officials are huddling to talk about. Jim Popp wants to have a conversation here. I believe he's going to challenge. He has thrown the challenge flag.
Montreal is challenging that it was not roughing the kicker. We'll review the play.
As Pruneau continues to get attention on the sidelines. There's Pop's second challenge. He used his first very early on.
I thought he took.
Got some conversation there between Valesi and the control room or the command center by accident.
And it looked as if Pop was motioning to suggest that
he'd already landed.
Yeah, like Medeiros came down on him.
Make that case. You have no sympathy for kickers, do you?
Oh,
honestly, you have no sympathy for kickers.
I have ample sympathy for kickers, particularly guys from Western.
Okay. But that notwithstanding, is that roughing the kicker?
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Apparently it is.
There you go.
So Ottawa with the ball at its 49-yard line. Jim Popp, by the way, not wearing the headset tonight. Change from past weeks.
It seems to be working well for Wally Buono out on the West Coast.
Did Wally ever wear one? I can't remember Wally ever. Well,
it would mess up his hair. Mess up Wally's hair.
Oh. We're going to see him next week. You know that, right? He's watching right now.
He's not watching. He's getting ready to coach his team.
He's watching, guaranteed. Jensen throws it up for Williams. The pass falls incomplete. Brock Jensen, the 25-year-old out of North Dakota State, played against Saskatchewan in late July. Had a good night, 20 of 29 for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
This is a guy who had a 47-5 record as an NCAA starter at North Dakota State.
Now on 2nd and 10. And Jensen forced out of bounds by Venable. We'll see Wally Buono and BC here next week against Ottawa. I'll relay your comments to Mr. Buono, and he'll make that sound dismissively.
Okay, I heard that many times, that dismissive sound many times.
But the thing is, you have to do it with the hand wave. You have to. It's not really dismissive unless you use the hand wave as well. Third down, Ottawa gambling. Jensen fires, and the pass knocked down by Venable. So Montreal officially went to a 3-4 defense this week. 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and their defense has played exceptionally well tonight.
Yeah, and again, I mean, in terms of listing that as their official starting alignment, the fact is they played the majority of the snaps in that for several weeks, going back to about the 3rd week of the season, 3rd or 4th week. I think ultimately the feeling is it gets their best guys on the football field.
So turnover on downs by Ottawa. And Rakeem Kano comes on for the Alouettes. Gives it off to Steph Logan. The man nicknamed Joystick because he appears to be a player in a video game. Bounces off a couple of tackles and gets a couple. So Kevin Glenn, who threw 2 interceptions late last week, 1 for a touchdown to take Montreal out of it, bounces back as he has so many times before. And the Alouettes will improve their record to 3-5. We'll take on Winnipeg next week at home. We'll be there for that one as well. I think to Logan this time. He's brought down for probably no gain. Connor Williams makes the stop.
Montreal, much like Ottawa, looking to give one of their young quarterbacks some playing time and protect their veteran.
Cato was pretty good last year when he was pressed into service for the Alouettes. He was one of the stories in the midway part of the season.
Yeah, got off to a great start, hit a little bit of a plateau. But I think Rakeem Cato himself would tell you that he's in a much better situation this year, where he's got a veteran quarterback in Kevin Glenn and a long-time CFL quarterback in Anthony Calvillo as his offensive coordinator. They give him two very good resources from whom to learn.
Flag comes down. The play will not count.
Time count violation. Montreal number 30. 10-yard penalty. Still third down.
Anthony Farah brought into camp by the Alouettes a couple weeks ago when Morris Beatty really ran into field goal trouble. Native of Philadelphia, played his college football at Texas. Transferred to Texas.
I had the opportunity to transfer from Penn State. Played his last couple of years at Texas. Spent most of last season on the BC Lions practice roster backing up Richie Leone.
It's a good kick. Jackson takes it back at his 20-yard line. Another flag comes down. And Jackson got tripped up. Well, the Breeders' Stakes gets underway Sunday. Coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific on TSN 1, 3, and 4.
Holding. Ottawa number 8. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Another penalty against Ottawa. Rick Campbell talking it over with the man who committed the foul, Jake Hardy. Fair to say that nothing frustrates a coach more than penalties. Turnovers a close second. Jensen under pressure at the goal line, got away. Off and running now. And all the way up to the 31-yard line. Javon Johnson brought him down after a gain of 20.
Brock Jensen demonstrating some pretty good mobility there. A nice scramble. Move the sticks. The penalties have certainly been an issue for the Ottawa REDBLACKS throughout this ball game.
Ottawa won back-to-back games to open the season. Hasn't done it since. That big win against Edmonton 2 weeks ago, followed by a bye week. And now the ball's fumbled. Still loose. Chip Cox trying to pick it up. And finally the Alouettes do fall on it. It's Kyrie Hebert, and with 35 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, fittingly, a big defensive play by the Alouettes is turned in.
Yeah, Kai Hebert comes up with his second fumble recovery of this ball game. Winston Venable with the hit and strip. Hebert the recovery. We talk about that linebacking core as the identity of this Montreal defense and really of this Montreal team. They've demonstrated it tonight. Hebert has those couple of fumble recoveries. Venable a forced fumble. Bear Woods a forced fumble. Chip Cox. It's a sack in this ball game.
These teams will see each other again soon. Labor Day weekend. It'll be Ottawa, Montreal. In Montreal. And that'll do it for their season series. BC and Calgary wrap up theirs tonight. And a game coming up moments from now on TSN. And Montreal doesn't just survive the fourth quarter, dominates it. Time of possession, scoring, you name it. Put together a 10-play scoring drive. And Jim Pop, after a turbulent week, sees a team come up with its most decisive performance of the season.
This is the kind of win, Gord, that can do wonders for a team's confidence. We certainly hope from a Montreal perspective that it can be something of a springboard for them.
A season high 43 points for the Alouettes. They win at 43-19 to improve their record to 3-5. Time now for our Nissan Titan Player of the Game. And for that, we go to a big old veteran.
Yeah, and we'll preface this with an honorable mention for Kevin Glenn, who threw 5 TD passes. One of those went to Nick Lewis, and on that touchdown reception, he moved into 6th place on the all-time receptions list. Nick Lewis, big game, 8 catches in this ball game, 102 yards. His first touchdown since early last season. Nick Lewis is our Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
We're off to Toronto for the Argos, and the Eskimos tomorrow. Still to come tonight, the Lions and the Calgary Stampeders. But Montreal records a thunderous 43-19 win here in Ottawa tonight. Now back to Rod Smith and the panel.